Today, I'm going to be speedrunning one of my favorite childhood Flash games, Frantic Frigates. To start off, I'll immediately open up my inventory so I can bypass the timer and get straight into the game. Oh baby, it's good to be back. I haven't played this game in like forever, man. Our little ship auto-targets the nearest enemy, so all we have to do is navigate and grab coins from these sharks, because everyone knows a shark's main diet consists of coins. Every once in a while, we'll get a notification of the location of treasure chests, and we'll want to beeline towards them for them sweet dollar bills, baby! Once we get the coins, we're gonna make our first purchase of a treasure chest, which will make enemies drop more money and attract coins to ourselves. Now, you'll notice in the top right, every kill progresses us towards the boss. We'll have to be mindful of this, since we'll want to destroy 4 more treasure chests before the first boss arrives. There's also gonna be these wannabe pirates that shoot one singular cannonball at us. Don't be mean, they're trying their best. All we need now is one more treasure chest. There's a notification, we'll break it open, grab the coins in exchange for a hit, and these are the last 2 enemies we need to kill before the first boss. Now, what we want to do is upgrade our ship, which will open another inventory slot. We'll then sell the treasure chest so we can buy the cannon and fuse, which increases our damage and fire rate. We'll get our warning, and a pirate ship of a larger caliber arrives. He shoots cannonballs in a square and diamond formation, but honestly, it's really not that hard. He doesn't even have that much health to begin with. We'll just follow him around, continue to pepper him with shots, and we want to make sure not to get hit at all, since we'll get some bonus cash if we do. Once he dies, we'll move into him so we can quickly collect the money he drops. Then we'll head into our inventory, sell both the cannon and fuse so we can afford the newly unlocked second tier treasure chest. This run will follow a pretty simple pattern. During the boss fights, we want max power so we can melt them as fast as possible, while during the waves we'll go max greed and low power so we can maximize our profits. You know, back when I was a wee little lad and all my friends were hopping on each other's Minecraft servers or GTA with their consoles, all I had were Flash games on my rinky-dink laptop that had to be connected to the internet via an Ethernet cable, as the Wi-Fi just didn't work, and I'm sure like half of you don't even know what an Ethernet cable even is. To be fair though, Flash games have a special charm to them. Why? Because frankly, most of them were absolute garbage. But after sifting through dozens and dozens of mid games, when you finally land on a good one, it's like finding $100 in a dumpster. You know, half of the thrill of Flash games is just finding a game to play in the first place, and that just makes the good game shine brighter since you actually had to put work in to find some stuff. Actually, I'm curious, if you guys have played any Flash games, put your favorite down in the comments. I want to see if I recognize any of the stuff you guys have played. Our next goal is $500 so we can get another ship upgrade, and we'll get a nice little cash bonus by completing an achievement. Also, with all the commotion we're causing, bigger pirate ships are now appearing, which will start making things a little hectic with all the cannonballs flying around. Now that we got that upgrade, we'll need another $500 before the boss, and luckily the big pirate ships give a decent chunk of change upon defeat. But yeah, we're just gonna continue farming treasure chests. You know, back in 2020 when Adobe announced they were discontinuing Flash, it was quite a shock to me since a big chunk of my childhood was just getting eviscerated in an instant. Flash games were such a staple of the internet, I just assumed that they'd always be around. And luckily, my sentiment was shared as emulation software was developed to preserve as much of the old games as possible, which is why I'm able to create this video for you guys. Thanks, talented internet people. This is the last enemy of this wave, so we'll once again power up. We get just enough money by selling our treasure chest, and we'll get our tier 2 weapons. Our next boss is the submarine with a shield of eyes. Despite the unusual opponent, if we play this right, we can actually one-cycle this guy. To do that, we just patiently circle around him until he sends the eyes out. Then we'll run right beside him and sink every shot into him. Look at his health, it's just melting away. Yeah, that's always fun to do. And we managed to kill him right before getting hit, so we get an extra $150. Pretty cool. Now I'll sell everything since we have tier 3 upgrades unlocked. I'll get the treasure and flag, which near maxes our loot and magnet stats. Plus we'll get some movement speed too, which is always nice, being able to actually move around the map. We only need another $250 for the tier 2 treasure chest, which will max out our magnet stats and near max our loot. Just look at this, the coins practically fly towards me no matter how far they are, and the treasure chests just flood our wallets. Our next objective is 2,000 for the last ship upgrade, and frankly it won't take that long. Another thing we want to keep in mind is actually collecting our money. Since we're pretty fast and enemies in chests give a ton of coins and gems, if we don't make an effort to grab them, we'll start lagging with the amount of objects on screen. It's not because my computer is bad or anything, but probably because there's only so much a web game can handle. Speaking of, I think that's why those blue bars are showing up on the sides. I think full screen mode was added with the game emulator and wasn't supposed to be in the original game, so we're catching some behind the scenes game stuff we aren't actually supposed to be seeing. But it's good with me since I don't have to do extra editing to make it fit a 16:9 aspect ratio. We need one last treasure chest before the 2000, and there's a bunch of enemies guarding it, but my sailing skills are top notch. Look at that, bobbing and weaving around everything. Booyah! After getting the upgrade, look at us now. We actually look like a respectable ship instead of a lousy piece of driftwood. The last thing we'll need is getting at least $3,388 before the final boss, because that will allow us to afford every upgrade we'll purchase. If you made it this far, I'd appreciate a like and sub, but you may also be wondering why there's no gameplay sounds. That's because the music is copyright and I forgot to mute it for this run. Anyone who's a content creator, an editor, or does video stuff in general knows you can separate gameplay audio and voice audio, but is there a way to separate gameplay sounds from in-game music? Because frankly, I don't know. I'm new to this whole YouTube thing and I'm still figuring things out. Between that and my other commitments like school, I don't really have that much time to get super in-depth with stuff. You know, speaking of school, I'm gonna go on a rant. I hate commuting. Oh my god, it takes me 2 hours to get to school one way. One way. No, the worst days are when I have 1 hour classes, so I have to spend 2 hours getting there, an hour class, then 2 hours back. During rush hour, it's like 3 hours. What am I supposed to do in that time, man? I can't study. Believe me, I've tried, but I need quiet and all my things laid out. And some of these bus drivers drive like psychopaths, man. I'll be in my seat looking like those damn inflatable guys outside of car dealerships, trying not to get flung out the goddamn window. So I'm just there, wasting away half my day, every day. Man, I can't wait till summer, man. Sorry for trauma dumping on you guys. I just had to get that out. Okay, back to the game. That's the last enemy destroyed, so we'll prep for the final boss. We'll sell everything except our flag, then get both the tier 3 weapons and the tier 2 cannon as well. Then, the final boss, which is a freaking ghost ship. Got Davy Jones's locker. But look at us, we're shooting red hot cannonballs at this guy. I actually don't know how we're hitting a literal ghost ship. Maybe it's our unwavering will to become the king of the pirates. And it looks like our win is inevitable. So much for a final boss, right? Wrong. He has a second phase. But before we face that, we'll do some more shopping. We'll sell everything we have, except for the tier 3 cannon. Then we'll go to the shop and buy the most powerful tier 4 weapons and flag. It's time for the true final battle. Now this is a bullet hell. Since we have auto aim, we basically just have to focus on dodging. He has more health than last time, but with a nearly maxed out ship, he doesn't stand a chance. Even in his last phase with walls of projectiles, we have enough health to tank and sink every shot into him for the final stretch, and boom, that's it, ending at a time of 8 minutes and 6 seconds. And checking speedrun.com, we're the first to speedrun the game ever. Nice. Catch you later.